Best bets for Cheltenham.
What was it? Can't remember. Anyway, move on.
You know, she's got some nice types.
I love these mad horses.
And he's won £289,000 in prize money.
Everyone's been reliving it. Now he's finally retired.
We're in the entertainment business. It's entertainment.
That was the start of the disaster.
I think Cromwell's going to work his magic, you know.
I'll also admit I've been playing a bit of catch-up this weekend on the racing front as I had a little trip away to Germany. So I'm relying on the boys heavily here this weekend. But I have done my due diligence and I've had a look back at some of the performances. We're going to mention some of the comments as well, because last week we asked you to put your bank of the festival as it stands right now. And, gents, kind of unsurprisingly, the majority were all over Factor File. And we kind of agree that he may be the one that everyone's going to latch onto right now, aren't we?
We certainly. Oh, yeah. We were unanimous, weren't we, when we were in the studio? Partly because of his credentials, partly because of the nature of the race likely being going to cut up. And he seems the obvious choice, didn't he, for a horse where you pretty much know he's going to be in that race. He likes Cheltenham. The competition isn't fierce. And he is still the right side of even money, I think I'm right in saying.
Yeah, but obviously this week, we've had a whole new week. We could have some different names maybe thrown in, Joel, this time. I mean, we will agree Factor File. We want you to get involved. Put your comments. What is your biggest bank of the festival right now? And say over 7 days, things might have changed.
Yeah, I mean, the Supreme Novices Hurdle, I think we've got a clear favourite now. I hope you were on last week at 7 or 8 to 1. We have a clear favourite now. Is it short as 9 to 4? I think it is. 9 to 4, best price.
Right, I'm going to come on to that in a second. I will start, though, with Jonbon. He was the headline at the weekend, getting the job done. Obviously, Lete Tom, great that he got up okay. Blotted his copybook somewhat. Probably wasn't going to win anyway, was he? But Jonbon wins the Clarence House. Looks like the Ryanair could be the aim. And another string to the bow for J.P. Manis in that race, Frankie.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Henderson said after the race, I think it was, that he wanted to try 2.5 and actually bypass the Clarence House and go straight to 2.5. And then that obviously means the Ryanair. Now, he's gone and won the Clarence House, so I'm sure they're all delighted. And Henderson still sounds like he wants to go up in trip. So if Henderson has it his way, then it is the Ryanair. Wouldn't be certain that he's definitely going to go there, though, because there is the question of obviously JP having Factor File, who we've already mentioned, and also Jaguar as well, a potential. And then what's his hand like in the Champion when he's got Majborough. So there's definitely still a decision to be made. I think what was interesting, which you've also mentioned, is Lete Thompson didn't come home, wasn't turning but home swinging, was he, when he fell, as he was when he got the better of Jonbon last time. So he certainly, I think, I know he fell and we didn't get to see him finish his race, but you wouldn't be as enthused about him for the Champion as you would be before. And Jonbon did it in sort of workmanlike fashion that means you would love to see him have a crack at a more staying trip. So it was a good race, actually. Thistleask as well is just fascinating horse, isn't he? However many pounds he's gone up, fair play. I'd say owners will have a crack at the Champion if the Scoutons let him, because it would just be great fun.
It would. I imagine Harry would be on load of sud, though, perhaps, I would still imagine.
Yeah.
Jonbon going up in trip, Joel. What does that say? Does that say you don't think he's quite got the legs for the 2-year-old championship race? Or if they go hard, he could pick up the pieces. Still never at the first two? Or are they kind of thinking that Marine National's got far too much for him to go over the longer race and give JP Manis almost a certain winner with having Factor File and Jonbon in the Ryanair?
A little bit of both. I think I've been saying that Jonbon needs to step up the last sort of 4 years or whatever. But what do I know? And I watched a 2-year-old documentary on Nicky Henderson at the weekend. I fell asleep during the racing at the weekend, actually, not because it was boring, but just because I'd watched Man United win. So so I had a couple there. No, I think, look, Jonbon's going to step up. There was so many things, if you were a first-time racing fan, that you saw this race. First of all, the comedy, with the jockeys, the situation. Harry Cobden got injured, then he wasn't injured, then he was being assessed, then he'd been stood down, and all of this, and James Bowen's there. I was really pleased for James Bowen as well, so he can make amends. I don't know the lad at all, and everyone seems he's a nice guy, and he said it was his darkest day in racing when he essentially said he messed it up last time. Thistleask was, I was like, they can't do it, can they? They can't do it. The commentator said the dream was alive. Running Gidley Park makes me feel sick. It wears a heart on it throughout the day, and they publicise this and then gets pulled up. Not a good look. Lete Tom, looks tiny, absolutely tiny. And Paul Townend's not like a Will Kennedy or whatever used to be back in the day, 6 foot tall. Looked tiny. I mean, he probably was coming back into the race, but it was a good race to watch between the two, but it wasn't the right outcome. I don't think. I think James Bowen would have been really scared that he was going to screw up the first, the never out the first two. And we said on Friday, as many people would, take the distance bet unless it's on, but he just wasn't going. Looked knackered the whole way. So he's off the list, unfortunately. It was good that he got up, obviously, but it didn't look good. Didn't look good.
I mean, Barry O'Connell came out swinging and basically said it was a Mickey Mouse race. And I know you're a big Marine National fan, and that's what I'm going through, Frankie. Last week, everyone was saying Factor File was probably their idea of a banker. And 7 days on, this is what I was trying to angle at. Do you reckon more people will be putting Marine National in the comments this week?
Yeah, I think so. Horses, particularly that have been to Cheltenham and done it before, are much easier to side with. And then when you do see the rest of the field start to murk a little bit, then yeah, it's a very fair point, to be honest, Matt. He probably is starting to look like one of the horses that should just go and repeat what he's already done. And as these championship races are, horses come back year after year and you get to know their level, and his level at the moment, especially off what he did last time, and given the fact that he's going to improve again come March, does look to set the standard, doesn't he?
Yeah, interesting. What happens with the DRF next weekend? I know you were hoping he'd get beat, so you get a bit of a price about him, but that's not looking likely. Let's just move on then. And Old Park Star. Right, if you watched last week, Joel put this up as his anti-post pick for the Supreme. Fair play to him. It was 8-1 at the time, now into 9-4 after an 18-length romp. How smug are you feeling right now?
I'm not smug. I think I'm due one. I'll be honest with you. I definitely think I'm due one, and I think we said as well, we agreed quite a lot on Friday on the Punter's Guide. I said it was the most obvious forecast so far this year, Old Park Star to beat Hurricane Pat, but Caelan Quinn on Hurricane Pat had pretty much given up. He's 18 lengths down, and he just got in there. He just got second. I think the forecast paid like £2.30. I was looking for a little bit more than that. Old Park Star, genuinely. The Nicky Henderson thing as well, where he's like, I didn't expect that. He's saying this quite a lot, I didn't expect that. Which I'm like, most trainers come out and go, I thought it'd be good. And, whatever. Oh, he just comes out and says, didn't expect that. I think this is so exciting. And we said on Friday again about you don't want to kick Paul Nicholls when he's down with, losing his jock and that lovely horse last week of Fergie's and what have you. But Old Park Star, I mean, you put star in the name, it's got to be a star. And I think this lad is a star.
I don't get it. I feel like I'm literally...
What?
You don't think he's a star?
What do you not get?
Obviously, I know Nicky Henderson keeps saying that he's surprised. And that's kind of... He went off third favourite. He was 8-1 and nibbled that on his hurdles debut. I mean, it wasn't a great start in the bumpers for Paul Nicholls, was he? I mean, he's talking like everyone's saying about Altior and all of the great horses that he's had in the Supreme as Nicky Henderson. This one, he never won a bumper. He was 8-1 for his hurdles debut. Granted, he was impressive. Then he went and won at Cheltenham. And those in behind, a bit mare with the form. Kingston Queen, I think, was a little bit disappointing that day. And then, if Hurricane Pat hasn't run his race, what's the rest of I know he's beaten him 8 lengths. It was 10 seconds slower than standard. And he's 9-4 favourite for this Supreme Novices Hurdle. It's not as if these are all trees that he's running against here. These are very good horses. And he's 9-4 favourite. I'm not saying he's no star. I would rather be on the 8-1. But how can you make him 9-4? It's mental.
I mean, look, 9-4 is short. Myself and Frankie don't work for a bookies. You're putting the prices up. We've got our 8-1. Thank you very much. Have your pants down in just 50 days' time. 50 days till the Cheltenham Festival starts.
If he's such a star, why did he go off 8-1 for his hurdles debut?
Because, hey, the horse doesn't know his price. But,
actually, sorry, I apologise. He wasn't doing it. I think you were off 11-2 in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just a bit of cash.
I'm just not buying into that. I mean,
right, okay. Well, I'm sorry. I think you're talking Rolex. And I'm looking at it. But if you look at the top of the Supreme, we were looking at it last week, isn't it? 3 from 4 had fallen.
Yeah,
whatever. So you've got, and this horse is very impressive, and it's Haydock, and it's dirty.
He was good. He was good. I kind of agree with both of you in a way. He was very, very good, but there's a big jump between him and second in the market, isn't there? That's what is a bit weird. Because come March, when they all line up and there's horses in there that have won, graded novices and all the rest of it, and the one's won at the DRF and someone's won by 20 lengths at some maiden hurdle. When you put the puzzle together, when the tape's up, there's no chance that he's going to be that far ahead of the market, I don't think.
It
was impressive.
So it's the road to Cheltenham. We're talking about anti-post bets. Not officially on the list, but put us one up then. Because there has to be value then. Now I've
already put up Mossy Fen Road, haven't I? I've already put it up.
That's why. Hang on. That's why you've got a face on then.
No, because they put up Idaho Sun last week. I think that this is Grade 1 form. Idaho Sun beating My Daddy Paddy. Completely unconsidered 16-1 shot, having already won a Grade 1. All right, I know they took hurdles out. And he's 9-4 for winning what was essentially a match in a Grade 2 around Haydock. It's Nicky Henderson. He's got a great record in the Supreme. The great horses he's won it with. But this one hasn't even gone anywhere near that same path that those horses won. Those horses, he knew they were stars from the outset. And maybe he has been nicely impressed and obviously surprised by him, very nicely surprised by him. But he's won a match 8 lengths. It was 10 seconds slower than standard. I think it was 3.5 seconds quicker than Brentford Hope had won over the same track and trip off a marker 134, off a pound lower. So all of a sudden he's got this massive inflated rating, massively inflated image, and they're comparing him to those greats that have already gone. But this guy, he's not had that same. He's not Nick Henderson's gone. He's a start. I'm going this race, and then the Supreme. He's kind of got there by default. And I think in what is, for me, this will get played back on March the 14th, I'm sure, and I'll look really stupid. But I'm just saying, I think he's got an inflated rating. They've picked this rating for him, and I just don't think he's quite got it yet. Hurricane Pat, I know he's turned the form. Hurricane Pat beat him in a bumper. He was 0 from 3 in bumpers. How many horses 0 3 in bumpers do you see come through and win a Supreme?
Would you back him 8-1, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's 9-4.
No. I'm on 8-1. I'm on 8-1. I don't mind. I've got each way terms on that.
Fair play. 8-1. I just think 9-4 favourite in a wide open Supreme, and everyone waxing lyrical about what he's done. I sound stupid. I'm hard to please. He just won by 18 lengths. He won at Cheltenham by 12 lengths, 30 lengths aggregate in his last 2 races. I'm just not sure what he's beaten. I know the interesting point. I'll tell you another interesting point. I think it was Alan King was saying that the Northfield Racing Club have got Hurricane Pat, and that's why Baron Noir, they might be looking for different targets for him. I know he's just slammed him now. So will Baron Noir come into the Supreme? They obviously highly rate Hurricane Pat. I'm not quite sure he was at his best. Well, did Old Puckstar break his heart early on? I really don't know.
Yeah, he did. And then Caelan Quinn gave up, as you would expect, not give the horse a hard race. And then panicked when he saw Harry Skelton behind going, here he is. Joel's got the forecast on. Come on, we'll just nose it.
Right, people are going to be screaming at the screen here as well because they're really wound up with me. I should go away more often. I am only picking up bits, but I'm going to go into the Mares Hurdle. Le Conquier.
She was beaten. You're going to be a fan of her.
I am.
I agree, though.
Good night, everyone.
I knew that was coming up. He said.
Why was she sent off even money favourite? For a novice, as a small field, as a novice in a Grade 2 against seasoned, hardened horses, and she made a little bit. I think she may stay last, didn't she? Was second last. She wasn't great at.
Yeah.
And then she's gone half length.
Only worry.
She's gone out to 16s for the Mares Novice now.
I know. Yeah, should have got the value at least. I mean, she was obviously my anti-post big in the studio, wasn't she? I was encouraged in the sense that when you look back and you're like, actually, it's graded open company. My only worry, she did actually get there coming quite nicely. And did she want to go past? I don't know. She obviously has done it so easily the last 2 times before that. Newbury sort of went past them in the canter, no bother at all. But didn't strike me as a horse with a hell of a lot of fight was my only concern. But on form, on what was in the race, on rating, and you look at last year's winner of the Mares Novice at Cheltenham, ran to sort of like a mid to high 130s. Like she is around the level of a horse that can win that. So,
like you said,
both from me.
She could have gone to Sandown, won the JC more easily, and then we wouldn't know she'd got in a battle at Cheltenham, and she might have wilted it. Now they know, I say she's weak in a battle. She's not going to be, but at least they know they may ride her a little bit different. I didn't think anything. I think it was harsh to push her. She's been beaten.
Jamie's always said her biggest asset is a bit of speed, turn of foot. So I think just keep her cold for as long as possible, and then you get probably one chance of going and winning the race with her, perhaps.
And Ascot doesn't really lend itself to a speed, but I think it's deceptively stiff, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I do. I wasn't discouraged. Well, I wasn't throwing my slip away. Put it that way. Thought it was all right.
No, but
I'll put her up again this week at a bigger price.
yeah, too right. Keep on it. What is it? The bigger the price, the bigger the certainty. You look at that race though, and early on the week on Tuesday, we saw the Cheltenham horse, Nurse Susan, drift, wrong trip and whatever. I think Mark, who was in for you on Friday, was like, I like Nurse Susan. You're going, they're just looking for some cash here, looking for some place money. Horse didn't run eventually, was pulled out, but the favourite, who went off even money, was 8-1 on Tuesday, each way terms. And people were saying that was a cracking bet. And then when I put the telly on at that time with one eye after the United game, and I'm like, does that really say? I think it went to 5-6 at one point. Does that really say even money? And I could not have had, as you would say, Betty with stolen money.
No. It's Ben Jones, isn't it?
I could have the time and lie and go, oh, Betty. I could not have had that horse in my mind.
It won.
Yeah, I know.
No, I just thought, I'm not impressed by a horse who scoots up at 18 lengths, but I'm impressed by a horse who gets beat. And I know it sounds a bit foreign, but it's all about opinions, and that's how I felt. Look, let's get something we probably will agree on. Willie Mullins, he's starting to have a few runners, a few winners as well. Well, he's not stopped having winners, but a few horses throwing their name into the ring. Espresso Milan looks one for the Spud race after winning at Thurles over the weekend, and the Irish Avatar could be a bumper performer the way he won at the weekend, Joel.
Yeah. I love that bumper horse. There was the two Kingstown horses, weren't they? And I did some looking up afterwards. I think went for 80,000 euros at the Derby sale, then on to 100,000, then sold on for 200 grand. In where we are now with the prices, the 6, 7, 800 grand, million quid, whatever. I think this, it's a bumper. So you don't know, but he looked massive. Come and take his stable companion out, running through the final furlong. And so far, there's not massively amount of, bumper horses that you go, yeah. And you either love bumpers or you don't love bumpers. I just thought it looked progressive, looks, obviously one for the future, but looked a good one. But you never know. We're still waiting for what was that? I forgot his bloody name now. That went to Skelton's, who was second in the champion bumper. What was it? Can't remember. Anyway, move on.
Oh, get me thinking now. You're rubbish with names, aren't you? And also, I know you like Conman John for you already put me up for the Albert Bartlett. Espresso Milan, would that be a danger now? What you saw at Thurles?
Not massively. No, it was just another one of Willie Mullins that may be a superstar. Conman John. No, come on.
Frankie, thoughts?
Yeah, this is where Mullins makes things tricky. Especially, he usually runs one in the Bartlett that has only ran in sort of very average maidens and scooted up. There's always a horse like this for Mullins, and it does make it tricky to assess because I spoke about I'll Sort That on the last show. He's a Grade 1 winner going into the race, and then you've got Sortudo, I think, is top of the market for the Bartlett. Well, he ran well in last year's bumper and has ran well in although he didn't win in the same graded race. But then he has these sort of weird ones that go in these lesser races, and he did do it well. You probably wanted to see him in a bit better company to be backing him at this stage anyway. You can't really be overly excited, but he did look good, and he looked a hell of a lot better at this trip than he did when he started his hurdle career over 2. So he's on the radar, but he's not a bet.
Okay. What about, I don't think this will be bad. I just want to talk about him, though, because he finally got his head back in front. He's such a promising novice, Potter's Charm. Got the win at Windsor. Is there a race for him at the festival? He's not going to be champion. Are they going to try and eke him out for stays, or will they keep his powder dry for the Aintree Hurdle, Frankie?
I think they'll go Aintree, I'd imagine. Sammy Twiston sort of alluded to it in the post-race interview that is his level. He's one of those sort of Grade 2 type of horses, isn't he? And Sammy threw the kitchen sink at it as he did. He said the horse kind of suits his sort of style. He was tough and he got the job done. He'll have a day like he did at the weekend. He could have a top 3 finish at the likes of Aintree, but I don't think he's championship level. You never know; they might go because obviously the owning team like to go to Cheltenham, but they've got a good team of horses that he could probably be spared for entry.
Okay, Potter's charm for Joel.
Yeah, Adrian Hurdle. I don't think there's any question at all.
Okay. We're just going to throw back a few years because the news this weekend, and this really still going to pull on the heartstrings when we see this. Goshen retired. And that Triumph Hurdle, everyone's been reliving it. Now he's finally retired. Obviously, the images and the video have been shown once again. I know exactly. I remember where I was. It was just before COVID struck, wasn't it? As well, yeah. That was the start of the disaster. Goshen down at the last.
There was all sorts of odds-on shots going down, wasn't there? That Cheltenham. There was. I remember.
Yeah, that was the one they hit the most.
Yeah. 100%.
But he became an absolute enigma, didn't we? We've got to talk about him. We mentioned him almost every time, every show. He was an enigma. When he wanted to put it in, he was absolutely brilliant. It was a case of when he wanted to put it in.
Yeah, I love these mad horses, Mad Moose and Goshen and stuff like that. And I still feel for Jamie Moore that day when AP, who won't be the most emotional guy in the world, were giving him the hug outside, and it was like, not your fault. And then you saw him jump the final hurdle, and it wasn't the front shoes and the back shoes. I've never seen before or never seen afterwards, and we're all on that day. I mean, that doesn't matter anymore, but. It was the most bizarre thing ever. And then he just went tap, didn't he? And it was like, well, he's never going to run at Cheltenham anymore. But I don't know if that scarred him for life or I don't know. But I love characters. You know, that's what it's all about for me. Everything is. I watched last night. I said to you about the on Saturday night the Nicky Henderson documentary, and he says a line in it which you would never expect from an old fella, old school like that. He went, "But we're in the entertainment business. It's entertainment." And I was like, you're so right. Because a horse like that, like Mad Moose, will the horse jump off? Will he put it all in today? Will he sulk? Will he be out the back? And I genuinely love characters like that. I know we're not a soap opera, we're not a Netflix or whatever, but I love characters.
It's entertaining. Run his horses. Oh dear. Anyway,
I'm just having a look at his form book. It's quite a hilarious sort of career in a way. I mean, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bounce before going to Cheltenham. Then the drama that happened there. He's won a Kingwell Hurdle. What else has he won? He won at Ascot over 2.5. The Coral Hurdle it was. He's got Grade 2 races, ran at 3 miles, 2 miles, 2.5, fences on the flat, over hurdles, on good to soft, whatever you want. And he's won £289,000 in prize money. So
I was about to say that.
He's had a funny old career, and he was great to follow, wasn't he?
You know what? In non-racing fans, so it's all about the money and whatever, and it's they only buy it to make money, and you go, it's a national hunt game, really. So you don't understand the balls are off and there's no stud value, so it's fun and they enjoy it. So I'm pleased to have made a few quid out of it. I mean, to be fair, that's probably like training fees, Gary's that have been sucked it up. But if they broke even, they had some fun.
Yeah, certainly did. Right, just a quick message, just a quick word on the Gold Cup as well, because as much as we talk about at the top of the show, horses that like Factor Farm, Marine National, People's Bankers, the Gold Cup still struggling to find a favourite. Interestingly, and I did toy with this, probably stupidly, and again, it's probably tugging at the heartstrings, of putting Haiti Claw up this week, because Rebecca Curtis is going to have a go at the Irish Gold Cup. And, if there's one chance of a horse completely plummeting in price, if he was to go over there and run something close, and they've got a plan as well, and trying to drag the stamina out of some of those Irish runners, that's really interesting. And fair play, there's not many entered over in the DRF, but they're going to roll the dice with Haiti Claw in the Irish Gold Cup, and they'll really see where he is in the pecking order.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating and also slightly tie in the English and Irish form a bit as well, which is going to be much needed, because we do feel like we've got two separate bits of form, haven't we, on either side of the RSC currently. So he can sort of bear the flag for UK, Wales, England, Scotland, and allow us to see how we sort of stack up this side against the usuals, which will obviously run well then. And because it's Galopin Deschamps' backyard, although he hasn't won this year, what he does should, if provided the race pans out all right, give us a real sort of benchmark to work back off with what's running over here.
And we did toy, Joel, didn't we? We mentioned we did toy with that 66-1. We mentioned it after the Betfred Chase flop. And we said that wasn't his running. And he bounces back and wins the World's Grand National. If he runs a race in the Irish Gold Cup, he could be single figures. I mean, fuming.
Well, I presume Sean Byrne would be going over to ride, yeah? I mean, there's nothing else.
So, yeah.
Well, I don't know the arrangement, but you were more excited than I was. I think he was giving it a brilliant ride in the Gold Cup. I mean, look, if the Gold Cup, well, not the Gold Cup, but the festival starts 50 days today is, I've got my calendar and it's counting down now over there. 50 days today. If it's tomorrow, genuinely, between us, Gold Cup, you've got your tenner free Betfred bet to win. Where are we going? Because I'm still convinced Django Bay is the one.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
If it's tomorrow, as in it's ran on Monday the 20th of January, then I might be with you, Joel. But if we're talking about March the whatever, and we've just fast forwarded ourselves rather than brought it back to tomorrow, I think Cromwell's going to work his magic, I think he is. I really do. I'm at current where I stand is last year's 1 and 2 ground dependent. Real soft ground, galloping the Champs, slightly better ground. I know the way you're thinking. That's kind of where I stand currently.
Again, it's all in melting pot. The DRF will probably give us another message when the Irish Gold Cup is run. That's next weekend. Right. Just want to talk about have a trainer and focus. I'm going to leave all the big names so we get closer towards Cheltenham. But just want to mention Faye Bramley, first year out training, of course, taking a license, taking on AP McCoy's place in Lambourne. And they've got one of the festival favourites now, Winston Jr., favourite for the Fred Winter. I say favourite. That's probably, we've recorded this before, they see what the handicapper says on Tuesday.
Yeah, he's going to go up, isn't he? Hard to assess, though, because, I mean, he won hard held, really. He's been beaten previously for being too keen, and he was still keen crossing the line. But there's obviously tons of ability. Pros and cons to that, I guess. If they can get him to settle, and he obviously is settling better than what he once was, if he continues to do that, then there's an argument to say that he's just going to continue to get better. I actually think he's really exciting. I mean, a horse that wins in a canter is one thing, but Cobden was holding on to him crossing the line. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Well, actually, no, Cobden will certainly be booked up in the green and gold for the Fred Winter, won't he? It'd be no chance. Got some nuts in there. Yeah, but interesting to see who ends up riding him. And I thought he was the most exciting. I know you jotted down a few of Faye Bramley's chances, but I'd say he.
Well, she's got obviously him favourite for the Fred Winter, depends on what the handicapper does. I mean, I know Pagan was put in a place at Doncaster the other week by Spindleberry, but she's gone from strength to strength in mares, ex-Irish herself, and obviously Glenn Gourley's already sprung a surprise. I'd imagine maybe the plate will be the place for that. And I just, as a first season trainer, I know she's got a lot of support, a lot of backing with a lot of big owners and McCoy, but she's got some nice types, and she'll have a few runners at the festival, I'd imagine.
Yeah, do you know what? I really hope she does, and I don't want to diss her. We take the mic and say it's AP, but in my opinion, the greatest sportsman that ever lived, 20-time champion jockey, is helping out there. He can get a Harry Cobden, because how many first year trainers do you know that can get arguably the best, well, one of the top two jockeys in Ireland or in the UK, to ride, and she had Sean Bowen on Glenn Gourley winning that at 33-1 in December.
Yeah, that's what wasn't
it? You're getting Matt Humes claiming the 7, aren't you?
If you play more than 7 stone.
Start now.
It was a heavy weekend.
Yeah, I bet it was in Berlin. And I'm hoping, I'm sure JP will probably put another couple of horses there. If she has the right connections to do that. I hope she does off her own bat as opposed to any leg up or anything. And I'm right in thinking was she pre-training beforehand?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I watched a little thing on her, and I thought, oh great, and it's great to have some young blood. Well, not necessarily young blood, but not changing the guard, just to make it a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, and fair play, they've been winning. Cobden obviously gets the call and says this horse has got a chance, and then it wins like that. You're going to be, you certainly listen when you get the phone call again, won't you?
But it's a bit of everything, there's cast-offs. I mean, Pagan's coming from Ireland, Glenn Gooley from William, and no Ordinary Joe's not shown much. That was
And
with
they're
Nicky
improving,
Henderson,
yeah.
wasn't it? But then she's got this juvenile and Winston Jr., so, she's applying a trade with all types of horses, isn't she? So, fair play and best success to her with some chances in the festival. Right, anti-post time. I have been round and round and round this week, but we'll start with you, boys. So, Joel, we'll start with you because Old Park Star, if you took your advice last week and took the 8-1, you're now sitting pretty. Can lightning strike twice? What's going on this week?
Well, I had two, but I'm going to keep the other one to myself until next week, I think. Did anybody see the Jericho de Repenet performance at the weekend? Now,
I didn't, but I've read about it.
Oh, it's worth a look. I mean, it's a grade 2. That was a grade 2, and if we're schooling in public in a grade 2, then fine. And the handbrake will be off in March. And I'm taking a flyer on this one, and you can look for it. Where do you think I would go at the Cheltenham Festival with Jericho de Repenet? Now, a few people have said to me, do you know what? The horse isn't very good. It's worse than you think it is. I think it's very talented and it's been set up for something. My opinion. And
he has been jumping like his legs are tied together. Will they go back over hurdles?
Well, I'm not being funny. If his bloody teeth pulled out, I would as well. Right. So we should wait for the reassessment tomorrow, wouldn't it?
3-mile handicap chase, so would be the obvious target.
I was thinking Ultima, yeah.
Right. So you're thinking Ultima. I'm going Kim Muir with a conditional on.
That is a rogue shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fair play.
So what's it needs to be dropped £5 for that.
I don't know what it'll do to his hurdle mark, though, getting beat over fences. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked at Ultima, and Ultima's always everybody's got 2 stone in hand, haven't they? So I went conditional.
Derek O'Connell?
Yeah. How much? What price are you giving me?
Oh, I will have a look.
I think maybe it was around 16s yesterday or something like that. There was a little move for it. But it's funny, isn't it, when you see a horse run, like you go, well, that's no good anymore, and it retracts in price. It's like everyone seems to know what's going on.
I can't let my computers froze, so we'll try and find one, and we'll add it into the little grid. Right, Jericho de Repenet. Interesting, an early handicapper on the list then. Frankie?
One I'll mention before my selection that I forgot at the top of the show, just from the weekend's action, and I've been mentioning him a few times, but I still get the inkling that Live Conti has got to be the Skelton's County horse. He managed to come third, and I suppose the right 2 horses were in front because Hot Fuss managed to get his nose in front and Willful was in second. I know that Live Conti was supposed to start off at Newbury, had a bit of a setback, and then he was beaten a long way and slightly improved again. I'd say his job is just to get fitter and fitter as we get towards March. I wouldn't say they're in a rush with him. So he's very much on the radar still for the county. But my selection is one that could go in one of 2 races, but I'm going to take my chance that Only by Night becomes a Mares Chase mare rather than a Champion Chase mare. She was beaten a long way last time, but she did get almost taken out the race by Marine Nationale. Now, we know Marine Nationale managed to almost get back on top. She didn't. Cromwell made some comments about that and also how fast the race was ran at the same time as being knocked back, yada yada. Maybe she'll be fine stepping up in trip. So given her previous form, she'd beaten Champ Kylie, she was second in the Arkle, Django Bay is a Gold Cup potential. All of the signs mean she is still very much a good racehorse. So hopefully, she does go to the Mares Only by Night.
What do we take this? What do we do here, Joel? He's been to Cromwell's. What do we do? What are we taking this out?
Well, I'm looking for the you can always tell when he's been told something. His left eyebrow rises a little bit. That's what happens. So look out for that. Eagle-eyed viewers, when the right eyebrow goes up, it's not
But yeah, I'm on a webcam, so you know which eyebrow is it? Could be.
Oh yeah, well, that means lay and that means back. So I don't know in the reverse. Oh, I tell you what, one at the weekend, and I'm like, I've been putting joystick up since 1874.
Oh my god,
joystick,
yeah, big price as well.
Yeah, big price, and his now favourite. There's about 4 favourites here, and for the Kim Muir, I think I found best price 16-1 for my lad, Jericho to Repenet. Do you know what? The horse might be rubbish, and worse than that, I think. But
it's great to the game. I mean, when it comes to Cheltenham handicappers, this is it. It's not a case of that the form, is it? It's a case of trying to find out what's been hiding its light under a bushel. That's what it's all about. When it
I mean that you honestly got to watch it.
A beaten horse from the weekend as well. That surely has to win next time, but it's probably an entry horse. Is bad. Etalon keeps messing his races up because he goes so hard and it doesn't suit him at all, and he still ran a massive race.
And he stays on. Another one for you lads as well. I know, Matt, you're away. Did you see? Be aware of the Skeletons at the week on Friday? Wasn't it? When I don't think I've ever slagged Jonbon off. Harry Skelton did his usual thing. The horse is headstrong, isn't it? And maybe why it's not winning that past couple of starts, but went off 1,000,000 miles an hour, and Sean followed him. And Ben Jones, who was, not telling anybody anything they don't know, he's so good. He just sat back in third in a 3-runner race, going, "Go on then, lad, set this up for me." And then be aware, I think smashed the second last.
Wow, the second last, didn't they?
Yeah, nothing else last. But is there a plan for this? Be aware, or is it a head case?
Was he? Didn't he finish second at Sand? Was he Sand? Was it Sandown?
Yeah, Sandown it was. Yeah,
it was.
That's lump sums out for the season, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's a shame for Saturday Sam, but he did have a winner in Vincenzo.
He did. Yeah. I'm just thinking, be aware. I think we said after the Sandown race, we said Grand Annual, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I do agree with Frankie and Bad. Just staying on. You're going, hello.
Right, mine. I said I've been around the houses. I did strongly consider Haydock because he has got the potential to shorten somewhat when he runs next week. But I'll keep that dry for now. There's loads going this weekend. Obviously, it is trials day, so there's loads going that certainly has the potential to shorten. But I'm taking a real risk here because if this fella is beaten at the weekend, then he's going to drift. He'll probably have no chance. But he should win. That is the point. He should win, and he might not. He might not contract in price as much as some. But I am a massive fan, and I think he's gone from strength to strength this year. And I know we've talked about others at Tiapu and Honesty Policy, but I honestly think that Impose Trois is the one to beat in the stays after what he's shown this year. He's got a strong leader to beat essentially on Saturday. We know he's not a Cheltenham horse strong leader, really. And the rest shouldn't be anyway good enough. So I fully expect Impose Trois to win the Cleve, and that 6-1 may become 4-1. So maybe a little bit of value. That's the hope anyway. So he's a short one, but I think he will contract a little bit as long as he does win on Saturday. Race he should really be winning. Saturday, boys, looks fantastic.
Top notch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Top notch. Yeah. I was wondering, was anyone just going to throw like a Sergino in, although he's already favourite, but like we could end up with some odds-on shots for the festival, couldn't we, after the weekend?
Yeah, we certainly could. I think he's long odds on. He's got New Line and Pony Ross in there as well. So, yeah, brilliant race of the weekend. Right, subscribe. Join us Friday for the Punter's Guide. Myself and John will be here. Judith Chalmers has packed his bag once again. He's off to Sunnier Climbs. Passport. How many passports do you go through?
People keep saying this. It's not. I'm not away as much as you lead viewers to believe.
Have you never been investigated? Has no one ever, got to your door and gone, there's people who keep going away to Morocco and Dubai and Saudi Arabia and Hong Kong. What are you going there for? Ooh, to promote racing.
He's got a hardback passport.
Yeah. Are you not here on Friday then? Are you not here? Or are you doing it from
I'll be tuning in. Yeah, I'll be in. Don't worry about that. Trials day. I'll be up bushy eyed. I think it'll be. Don't know what time. 4 or 5 a.m. in Miami, or maybe I haven't been to sleep. One of the two.
He's got to tune in. He can't get out of it. So subscribe, and please comment. What is your best bet right now for the festival? Say, many of you got in touch last week. A lot of them are on Factor File. Has it changed over the last 7 days? Is there something else now that you're really cutting onto? And we're getting to that time. What do you say? 50 days away. The handicappers. I know we're still away from the entries, but those handicappers prices are up. People will be having a look at those. see things that they've seen, and think, yes, that one will do for me. So please like, subscribe, and comment in the boxes. Boys, before we do say cheerio, obviously I was away. Anything else that I've missed out that we could discuss from the weekend that really caught your eye?
Jukebox Kid
No.
was impressive. He made the note. He made the notes. Bad, I've mentioned him. Yeah, live Conti.
I was thinking about something like the Great Wood at Newbury, 2.5 mile. Would that be
Yeah.
something before? Is he good enough for a Cheltenham or an Ancient, something like that Great Wood Gold Cup?
Bad.
Don't start Great Wood.
Bad. The reason bad is sort of two reasons on my radar. One is because pre-Ascot, Pauling was really, really confident, and he was obviously beaten. And they said he was in great form. And then I think Etalon is just messing him up because he doesn't like to go quick. So he doesn't want a hard pace that he's been getting, and he'll be much closer to those at the front of the race. And I think, see if Etalon turns up again. But if they're going separate races in a slightly different field, I think he is in great form, and he definitely can win a race. Well,
I think, a little shout. I'm sure she watches every week. We put up Dalston Lad up at Haydock at the weekend for Skelton. I thought Olive Nichols gave Stay Away Faye a terrific ride. You know, she's an amateur, she's agricultural, so to say, and she was only a couple of lengths down and probably closing as well. You know, this is a horse that I've given up on. You know, I've absolutely given up on this horse, but was second at 22-1. So I don't know what the future is, but I thought fair play to Olive Nichols at the weekend.
And a winning Napa at the weekend in my absence.
Well, you know, just winning naps. I landed one. Finally, what is it? A squirrel always finds a blind squirrel.
A blind squirrel always finds nuts, yeah.
Yeah. It was Lorcan Williams again, who, again, with Ben Jones, I love Lorcan Williams. And Frankie, I don't know if the right eyebrow's going up. Frankie said, is he a shout for the Nichols job? Oh.
My brows are down.
Right.
My brows are down.
Yeah.
Right. Cheers for that, boys. Right, a real good show. Obviously, looking back on the weekend action this weekend. I'll tell you what, we've got two brilliant shows to come the next two Road to Cheltenham, because reflecting on what's to be a very informative trials day, arguably the best one-off days racing of the entire Jumps calendar. And, of course, the following week, reflecting on the Dublin Racing Festival. All that is to come. So like, subscribe, and we'll go through it all with you. And please do get your comments in. Best bets for Cheltenham. This is what it's all about. No waffle. Straight to the point. Thanks for watching. Make sure you join us Friday for the Punter's Guide.